A good underdog story is always fun, but there's nothing wrong with the two unquestioned best teams in the nation squaring off, and that's what we have here tonight. For just the second time in program history, confetti falls for Clemson. It took 4.5 hours to get there, but it was one of the greatest finishes that we have ever seen for a championship game. In the end, Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide denied their 5th title in 8 years. Clemson raises the flag for the first time since 1981. We welcome in Kevin Harvick. Kevin, it's a short 3-month off season. What do you do during that period to get yourself ready for another go at a championship? Seneca Millage, look into that camera and tell the folks where you plan on continuing your football and track careers. So I say we start off just hitting liners, making contact, and then we work our way up to stroking out bombs. Yeah. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh. Go. The Eagles will try and do these things against a tough and physical Florida State defense tomorrow. In Tallahassee, I'm Bill Halter, Wink Sports. The Florida State players and coaches pointed out that FGCU plays as a team, and that's what they're going to need. Everybody working together, and maybe they could pull this upset off. In Orlando, for Wink Sports, I'm Bill Halter. 4 years ago at the NCAA tournament, FGCU won 2 games. Dunk City was born. It's the reason that more people started applying to attend FGCU. It's the reason that people around the country know where FGCU is. It's also the reason that many current players on the FGCU basketball team are there. But those same players are a little bit tired of hearing that story.
You tomorrow night.
This is an intriguing matchup. Both teams extraordinarily athletic. Actually, the #1 team in terms of number of dunks this season versus the number 3 team in the nation. There's a lot to break down with this matchup. We'll get to that a little bit later in Wink Sports.
He kept his arms all squirmy, and then he rolled over. Right when he rolled over, I just stunk it in.
Okay.
Caught the triangle and then squeezed it in nice and tight.
You're choking him out with his own arm, correct?
Yeah, yep. It's cutting off the blood to all 4
How
arteries.
was he reacting when you had that thing locked in?
A little wheezing.
Congratulations to you, Nico. We are really proud of you, and we are really excited about the future. Just 27 years old. He has never lost a professional
This is the
fight.
beginning.
And Bob, Jim, Lois, I know you were ready to come in if that thing got too locked in too
Afraid
tight,
you might
right?
pass out.
A UFC fighter tried to choke me out today.
And the Rose Bowl was a thriller.
It sure was, Zykeria. Great job with that. We've got a lot to get to. Coming up next in Wink Sports. The action starts early tomorrow morning, and you can expect plenty of smiles in Orlando. Bill Halter, Wink Sports.
Thank you, Bill Halter.
Come on! The crowd, this group, the band, they're going to do their part, and we're going to see if the Tarpons can do theirs against one of the best teams in the entire country. Whoa! Foul on me! How was that a foul on me?
You gotta come in behind the blocker to hit you out.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda.
Her beauty is only surpassed by her intellect. Amanda, the belle of the ball. Oh! Red card. Winner. Of course, a lot of rain was dumped on already saturated ground, but the main reason residents in the Cypress K and Bristol Park subdivisions are on an island right now is because of water pouring in from a 600-acre plot of agriculture land. Fire Rescue became aware of this problem tonight and toured the flooded area. If I get you off balance enough to where you're kind of flailing at me, then we got those dribble drives and opens everything else up.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing on this point. Let's say I'm on the baseline. So this is the baseline here. The hoop is behind you. So I don't have much room here. If you close out to me on the baseline, how would you do it? Keeping in mind, again, this is the out of bounds here.
Being that you're on that side,
Yeah.
I would close out my right foot up just a little bit so I give you no room to drive back middle.
So you're still squared up, but you're kind of forcing baseline. Richard Nixon was a president from 1969 through August 74.
Right.
He had 2 vice presidents. That's the first part of the question. Who were the 2 vice presidents?
Well, Agnew
Yep.
and Ford.
Correct. Spiro Agnew had some issues and he had to be removed.
Right.
Gerald
And
Ford came in
Ford
and eventually
replaced
became
him.
president.
Yep.
Now, during that time, 69 to 74, there were only 2 different teams that won NCAA men's basketball championships. from 69 through 74, who were those two teams? When the ball gets to one side, generally defenses sag or overload, as we see here. Everybody's got at least a foot in the paint. How can you turn that into an advantage? Do you occasionally early in games set screens as much as possible just so you can get an idea of how they're going to defend screens?
GCU Basketball Show, presented by Shula's Steakhouse of Naples.
We've got the FGCU fanatics with us here for the FGCU Basketball Show this week. We'll get to them in a second, but first let's welcome in our two guests from the women's basketball team, Daitisha Dunston and Stephanie High.